would rise if you're able. Gentlemen, remove your hats. To offer invocation for Connection Point Christ Church in Brownsburg, Indiana, Neil Hinders.
This is terrible, by the way. Fox needs to turn the freaking static down.
We say give thanks for all things, and tonight we thank you for this NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Lord, we give praise for every fan, volunteer, staff, sponsor, pit crew, and driver who makes events like these possible. Father, thank you for creating men and women who possess the knowledge, resources, and gifts necessary to execute this race run by talented drivers and teams. Jesus, just as you give grace, we pray your protection covers these teams as they compete. Give safety to every driver and crew member as they race toward victory. In victory, there is sacrifice, devotion, and faith, all of which these teams possess and these teams receive from you. So cover this race with your blessing and favor. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And remain standing as Miss Indiana Team 2023, Kinder Shoemaker sings our national anthem.
Packed crowd on hand at the Indianapolis Raceway Park for tonight's running to the TSport 200 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It's the penultimate race of the regular season as we hit the end of the month of July, and the first and last race before, or I should say the last race before, of course, the break that we'll have during the Olympics, as the Truck Series will have 3 whole weeks off between their final 2 races of the regular season. So momentum will be tough to come by. A good finish is going to be huge for a lot of different drivers tonight that are racing their way into the playoffs. A very, very tight cut-off battle coming into this one. As of right now, we have 4 drivers locked into the Truck Series playoff field with wins. Those drivers being Christian Eckes, Corey Heim, Nick Sanchez, and Raja Carruth. 5 wins for Corey Heim, most in the series. 3 for Christian Eckes, 2 for Nick Sanchez, and 1 for Raja Carruth. Ty Majeski currently 125 points above the cutoff line, well inside of that, and he's got a very good chance of clinching his way into the playoffs today on points. Tyler Ankram's the next highest in the point standings above the cut line in 6th. Grant Enfinger would be 7th. Taylor Gray 8th. Ben Rhodes is 9th. And Daniel Dye, by just 1 point, currently has the final spot if the playoffs were to start tonight. 1 point ahead of Tanner Gray, in fact, would be the cutoff line there, and he's only 4 points, ahead of Stuart Friesen. So 1 point ahead of Tanner Gray and 4 points ahead of Stuart Friesen. 18 points to the good is Ben Rhodes. Again, I mentioned he was in that second to last spot above the cutoff line. Only 10 drivers qualify for the Truck Series playoff field, so we'll see what Rhodes can do here this evening as well. Qualifying's been a huge issue for that 99 team this season. They get decent finishes, but definitely do not get off to great starts. Now, this should be a fun race here today. A little over a half-mile short track at, again, Indianapolis Raceway Park. The truck is in a standalone event here tonight. So the Xfinity and Cup Series teams will be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in nearby Indianapolis Motor Speedway, or Speedway, Indiana. I don't know what. I am bombing this at the start of the stream here. I apologize for that. You can tell I'm a little tired. Billy Kramer, Frank Powers, Wade Selinsky, Candy Cox, Faw Q2. Thanks for tuning in. Got to get the camera back on. Hi. We are back, our second live commentary stream of the night. As the first one was at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. As I mentioned earlier today, NASCAR Cup Series had a full 50-minute practice session. These Truck Series drivers only got their usual 20 minutes of practice. There was no 50-minute practice session here, and the reason for that was because of the Truck Series racing at the Indianapolis Raceway Park in each of the last couple seasons, so it wasn't a new track. No rules package change or anything of that nature, so usual practice conditions for this Truck Series field. They qualified as well immediately afterwards. That all took place, in fact, after both the Xfinity and Cup Series practices at Indy on the 2.5 mile oval. So to get this short track started, we'll go through the starting lineup for tonight's race. One-time season winner here, Raja Karuth, will be on the pole for this race, with Grant Enfinger, Series veteran, starting to the outside of the front row in second. Tyler Ankrum with Ty Majeski will line up in row 2. Majeski, the defending winner of this race. Matt Crafton and Christian Eckes will line up in row 3. Eckes has been very solid on the short tracks this season. Daniel Dye and Stuart Friesen in row 4. Mentioned Daniel Dye, the final driver above the cutoff line. Friesen on the outside looking in. Corey Hyman and Chase Purdy round out the top 10 in row 5 for the start of the race. Nick Sanchez with Sammy Smith will be in row 6. Taylor Gray and Luke Fenhouse in row 7. Ben Rhodes and Ross Chastain in row 8. Chastain, the only Cup regular in this truck race tonight. Lane Riggs, Jake Garcia in row number 9. And rounding out the top half of the field in row 10 will be Dean Thompson and Ty Dillon. Dillon also in the Cup Series race at Indy this weekend, running part-time on the Cup side. I believe his first Cup start of the season. He's ran some Xfinity races and full-time in this 25 truck in the Craftsman Truck Series. Tanner Gray, Bailey Curry in row number 11 for this one. Tanner Gray's got his work cut out for him, starting deep in the field, and again, he's 1 point below the cutoff line coming into the race. Been on a dip in performance as of late as well, so looking to line up in row 12. Row 13 for Timmy Hill and William Sawalich. Mason Massey, Johnny Sauter in row 14. We've seen Sauter in the Truck Series field a couple times this season. He'll actually be in his best ride this year, though, in the 16 for Hattori Racing. Marco Andretti and Brett Holmes will line up in row 15. Used to see Marco Andretti at Indianapolis in the past, usually in open wheel racing, but tonight in a truck. Tyler Tomasi making his series debut. He'll start on the inside of row 16 with Spencer Boyd to his outside. In row 17 will be Thad Moffitt and Matt Mills. And rounding out the field in 35th will be Connor Daly, another driver who's used to running open wheel stuff in the Indianapolis area. So two former Indy 500 starters. In fact, were both in the Indy 500 just this last season, or earlier this year. About a month and a half to 2 months ago, are in this Truck Series field here tonight. Both of them starting deep in the pack. Alrighty. Uncle Plain Guy also welcome into the stream. I think we'll have a fun race here tonight. We've had some good races at IRP since the Truck Series has come back here. I believe this is the 3rd consecutive year the Truck Series will be at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. 3rd consecutive, of course. They used to go here for many, many years, along with the Xfinity Series also. But again, Xfinity Series will be on the big oval for tomorrow afternoon. And this is the 2nd straight night race that we've had here as well. So on the short tracks this season, we've had 3 of them thus far. Of course, tracks less than 3/4 mile in length, or 3/4 mile and less in length. First race at Bristol this season, Christian Eckes got the win. He also got the win in the first Martinsville race. And the most recent short track at North Wilkesboro Speedway, Corey Heim was the winner. So the two, I guess, not necessarily veterans of the series, but probably the championship front runners, hands down, are the 2 drivers that are more than likely going to be the ones to beat here today. Yeah, I'm going to turn that back down. I don't know what's going on with Fox's broadcast. There is a bunch of static. I thought my commentary was pretty bad out of the gate here, but it's hard to listen to. I almost wanted to not play the national anthem just for the sake of you guys not having your eardrums blown out with the static playing on Fox's hand. I'm going to actually play it during the ad and see if it's Fox or if it's my phone, because it could be my phone.
Good evening, everybody. It's NASCAR.
No, it's just Fox, because it seems like it's gone away now. Yeah, it's definitely Fox. It seems like it's when they're only using the microphones at the racetrack. So hopefully the audio from the booth in Charlotte will be okay. I didn't break it. NASCAR Penske Cup Series Racing, thanks for tuning in also. Chris Davis, welcome to the stream. Alrighty. So I've gone through the starting lineup of this one. We went through the point standings for this race as well. Engines have just fired. So we are not that far away from getting things kicked off here tonight. 200 lap race. And there will be live pit stops, even though this is technically a standalone Truck Series race. All the teams in the nearby Charlotte area for the Cup Series, or Charlotte, and the nearby Indianapolis area here tonight. I saw Charlotte best finish on the bottom of the screen where Stuart Friesen, they're talking about him right now, so that's why I said Charlotte. That, and I was just mentioning that the broadcast booth for FS1 is over in Charlotte as well. As we've seen ever since NBC has taken over the second half of the Xfinity and Cup Series schedule. I believe Adam Alexander is actually on the call for the lead play-by-play tonight for FS1 and not Jamie Little. Jamie Little will be doing work at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this weekend for the Brickyard 400 weekend. Her and Alan Bestwick usually doing the commentary at the racetrack, at least as of the last handful of years when it comes to the NASCAR race weekend at Indy. At least from my experience of going there in person, that's been the case. But staying right here with you guys this weekend. Stage splits today will be 60, 60, and 80. And the fuel window is 110 to 120 laps. So you can make this race on just one stop. Though we may see more than that, considering how many drivers are going to have to cycle through different sets of tires depending on how many cautions we end up seeing in this race. I would imagine we'll definitely see pit stops at each of the stage ends under those yellows for sure, or at least cautions that may land around the stage ends. A very old surface, an abrasive surface, so there's going to be a lot of tire wear and tire fall off in tonight's race. It's going to be very similar to the, obviously, last couple races we've had here, but as well as North Wilkesboro last season that had a bunch of tire fall off on that old surface as well. Yeah, it's just the PA announcing. I'll give Fox a little bit of slack there. I just feel like if it was on NBC, that wouldn't have happened. That's what I like to believe, at least. Michael Turner, thanks for tuning in. 125 above the cutoff line for Majeski. Possibility that two drivers below the cutoff line could win these last two races of the regular season. So mathematically, he's not locked in, even though he's 125 points above. Now, obviously, he can end up clinching himself in these first couple stages tonight, but he would have to be 2 full races worth of points ahead of technically 18th. Or sorry, not 18th. Only 10 drivers qualify for the Truck Series playoff field, so he'd have to be 125 points ahead of 12th in the point standings coming into this race. Or 13th coming in. Leaving it would be 12th, because then if we were to get a winner below the cutoff line in the next race. But then that would also shrink down to just one more race left, so he'd only have to be a full race ahead. So it would take a catastrophic failure for Ty Majeski to give up 125 points to the cut line in 2 races. Basically what Michael said, it's not happening. Yeah, he's pretty much locked in. Mathematically, he's not, but sensibly he is. So Toyota's lacking a little bit through at least qualifying. I'm sure we'll see Corey Heim perform well, as he does more often than not in the Truck Series, starting in the back half of the top 10s, right about where he started in the last race he was able to win, and still led quite a few laps in that race. Daniel Dye has really done a great job in the second half of the regular season for the Craftsman Truck Series. The last 4 races, he was 34 points below the cutoff line, fell to 37 points below the cutoff line 3 races ago, turned it from minus 12 to plus 1 coming into this one. So we'll see if he can keep that hot streak going. Had a career best second place finish at Nashville Super Speedway 2 races ago. It had great speed at Pocono last week. He was running top 5 for most of the first half of the race. Fell behind on strategy in the final stage. Up above the cutoff line for the first time all season. So they just got done checking pit road times. And I would imagine the field will be getting the 1 to go signal this time by, and we'll get this race started here shortly. It's a very, very tight and narrow racetrack. If you like short track racing, this is the track for you. 2 laps to go until we go green. So they are not getting the 1 to go signal this time by, letting the back of the field catch up with this pack of trucks after they had just again checked pit road times that last time by the start finish line. So again, only 4 Truck Series regulars have gotten a win this season. We've seen a couple of drivers from the Cup Series get some wins in the trucks as well. Kyle Busch has 2 wins this year. Ross Chastain has 1. But we'll see if somebody else can lock themselves into the playoffs here tonight. Again, just 2 races to go in the regular season. It's going to be almost a month until the next race for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series as well. So they're going to be on a bit of a hiatus after running these back-to-back races. Ben Rhodes will be having a start at the rear of the field for the start of tonight's race. He is dropping back right now, originally qualified in 15th. Mentioned qualifying has not been great for Ben Rhodes this season. Well, qualified mid-pack, and it's going to be even worse for him here off the start. And if we go caution-free in this first stage, he's going to have to get on his horse early so he doesn't go a lap down in the early portion of this one. Lights are out on the pace truck, and that pace truck will be pulling to pit road this time into turn 3. Roger Carruth, the honorary starter, will be on the outside of row 1 for the beginning of this race. The sun is setting in the Indianapolis, Indiana area, and we are short track racing on a Friday night under the lights. Doesn't get much better than that. Carruth leads us to the green, and we are underway at IRP. Second to last race of the regular season starts right now. Couple trucks already pulling down to the inside line and onto the apron into the first turn. Very wide racetrack by way of lanes ran. Already 3 wide for the lead off the exit of turn 2. And despite Carruth qualifying on the pole, he is not going to lead the first lap, and in fact actually falls to 3rd place on the opening lap. And Grant Enfinger from 2nd place starting position will lead lap 1. Ty Majeski slid into 2nd pretty quickly. Carruth's got another truck underneath him of Christian Eckes battling for 3rd. Nose to tail, Carruth staying in front of the 19 truck for now. Eckes again going to look to challenge the inside as Carruth holds the top lane of the racetrack. Majeski putting more pressure on race leader Grant Enfinger. Enfinger leads lap 2. little bit of contact up off turn 4 between Matt Crafton and Stuart Friesen, both battling inside the top 10. Crafton's best runs this season have been on short tracks. Competed for the win at Bristol in the spring race and ended up, obviously, with that third place run, a season best. Had a good run at North Wilkesboro Speedway as well. One of his better qualifying efforts this season. He doesn't qualify in the top 10 too often, so really trying to take advantage of this in a near must-win situation coming into this race here tonight. If he doesn't win, he's going to need a lot of help, but starting up front can help him make his way to that point, forcing other drivers maybe into some desperate situations that are around the cutoff line to try to maintain their spot. Maybe they get into a situation where they get in an incident, overstepping their boundaries. Enfinger leads the first 4 laps, but Ty Majeski looking very sporty. Nose to tail in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Enfinger staying on the outer lane of the racetrack, though, so it's going to make the pass pretty tough on the bottom for Majeski. Eckes going to slide up, taking Karut's line away, and clears him on a very, very close call. Middle of turns 1 and 2, where Eckes was able to clear the 71. And that opens the door now for Tyler Ankrum to move under. His better runs have been on intermediate tracks this season, although didn't have a great run at Pocono last week after starting towards the front. And this week dropping, not maybe like a rock here in the early going, but he is dropping back to say the least. Majeski is now underneath of Grant Enfinger, off turn 4 this time side by side for the lead on the front stretch. Both trucks getting a little loose through the bumps. Good momentum surge off the outside that last time by in the front stretch for Enfinger. He was actually able to clear Majeski before getting down into turn 1, despite initially being side by side off the exit of the corner. Fastest speed of the race so far was ran by Ty Majeski in that second place position back on lap 2. Lap times have already fallen in the ballpark between 4 to 7 tenths of a second for most of these drivers just 7 laps in. And it's a very, very bumpy, very worn out surface. There's going to be a lot of slipping and sliding the longer this green flag run goes on here tonight, even as the track temps continue to cool as the nighttime sky begins to creep in. A little less than a half a second lead, though, for Enfinger over Ty Majeski, about 3 to 4 tenths of a second to be exact. Christian Eckes, after making the pass for third place a few laps ago, is 2.3 seconds off the lead in third. Tyler Ankrum did make his way to fourth. He is 2.7 seconds back. And Roger Kruth remains in fifth place at 3.2 seconds off the lead. So that is the top 5 and the intervals between them as we are now completing lap 11. And Tyler Ankrum is keeping great pace with his teammate Christian Eckes for third. They run nose to tail. And Grant Enfinger starting to slowly gap Ty Majeski. Majeski took off well on that short run. But as we get deeper into the laps in this first stage, it does seem like the 9 truck is slowly pulling away. Back in the field hasn't caught lap traffic yet, but they are getting pretty close. And we'll probably see our first lap trucks of the race in about another. Unbelievable. This track races wider than it actually looks. You can run all the way on the bottom on the apron near the grass, or you can run all the way near the wall on the top of the racetrack. It's mostly flat. It's just how old this surface is really lends hands into multiple different lines. Crazy to see 4 wide on a short track at this tight of nature. And there was a little contact made. It wasn't clean by any means, but everybody was able to keep their trucks going in the right direction, and we continue to stay caution-free in the early going. So lap 14. As of right now, it looks like the first commercial break on FS1. That is where you can watch tonight's race visually, but obviously we'll have full flag-to-flag coverage for you right here in the TSport 200. So 14 laps in the books now, and Grant Enfinger has led every lap after, again, starting second, and Roger Kruth dropped to fifth in the early laps of this race after qualifying on the pole. No cautions in the early going, average race pace just over 100 miles per hour, barely over 5 minutes of green flag racing in thus far. Thomas Roth, Brett Whitesides, thanks for tuning into the stream as well. Earl Arnold Jr., listening from work. Appreciate that, man. Hopefully you don't get in trouble for it. It's definitely got a derby feel. Just the small confines of this racetrack. I don't know what the capacity crowd is here. It can't be very large, but they do come in bunches every time we go here, so there is that to be said. Great to see everybody filling in those seats here tonight. ARCA race was also at IRP not long before this truck race, so doubleheader Friday. It's worth of actions and qualifying earlier this afternoon prior to the truck series on track activity. So it's been a whole day's worth of racing at IRP for anybody that had tickets. And anybody that would have had tickets to either the Xfinity race tomorrow at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway or the NASCAR Cup Series race Sunday afternoon would have been able to get in for all track practice for Xfinity and Cup Series today for free. So if anybody that maybe is watching the channel here tonight maybe took advantage of that, congratulations. Being able to go to the track for free here today. Probably still got to pay the ripped off concession prices, but you'd at least watch a couple of 50-minute practice sessions for free, and you can sit wherever you want. Did show some fans up in the grandstands throughout today's earlier's action. Lap times being ran between Majeski and Enfinger relatively the same. They're kind of trading lap times back and forth between each other as they get to the back of the field now. Grant Enfinger, that last lap, about 0.02 of a second slower than that of Ty Majeski.
At that black and yellow number 2, Nick Sanchez, I will be looking forward. A little bit of gap up there, the 66 of Fenthouse, right now running 9th. It's a nice feeling on a short track. You don't have much out the front windshield there. Able to pick your line, see how your handles as you look around this awesome 0.686 mile. You got it. Nailed it.
Very well executed.
Thank you very much.
Craftsman is offering race fans different deals throughout the season. Look out for the Craftsman QR code later in the race to take advantage of tonight's IRP deal of the race.
Love the deal of the race. Craftsman's such a great partner to NASCAR and these trucks.
Grant Enfinger starts outside pole, 20 plus laps in, and he's already battling lap traffic. Let's get an update on second place, 98 Ty Majeski here, Jake.
Yeah, he's also battling Ty Majeski. And Ty told me that this truck, though it's not the truck he won with last year, it's very similar in the way it reacts to things. But right now, he's telling his Joe Shear Jr. that the left rear is tightening up in the center of the corner. And then anytime it gets lateral load on it, it gets free. So they're going to have to make some adjustments at the end of this stage to try and get something that you can race with.
See heavy traffic right now for our leaders. Grant Enfinger's been able to negotiate that. Now Majeski is able to get by the 42 of Matt Mills and the 33 of Lawless Allen. And he did it right up the middle.
That's why people love this racetrack so much, because you can run all over the place. You saw a great example of that there. Majeski just carving his way through that lap traffic.
There's that yellow truck right there, Michael.
He goes all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. Lawless Allen with a big slip there. Matt Mills up high makes it happen.
Matt Mills scored 32nd, had a problem in practice today, couldn't qualify the truck, and that's why he's so deep in the field. Unfortunately for that 42 group, because they've been so strong lately.
Daniel Dye racing alongside Dean Thompson. This is for the 10th spot.
Dean was able to get by Sanchez. We saw Sanchez behind Daniel right when we came back from commercial break.
Strong run here. Fighting up inside that top 10.
He had double duty for Dean Thompson. Ran the ARCA Menards race earlier today. Had a top 10 finish. A traditional track time certainly doesn't hurt.
See there, the left rear tire on that 43 of Daniel Dye. All the letters have rubbed off that Goodyear tire. That's that 4 wide squeeze off turn 4 earlier. Here goes Dean.
Yes, they get work on the bottom of the racetrack, able to clear Daniel.
Closing on the midway point, stage one. Grant Enfinger qualified up on the front row. He's led the first 27 laps. Ty Majeski running in the second position. Tyler Ankrum is there. Christian Eckes, Raja Karut, the top five.
You know, we talked a lot last race out at Pocono about strategy and what these guys would do around those stages. I think it's a little more cut and dried here tonight, if we stay green. But if there's caution, there's so many varying agendas from these teams. Guys that have won their way into the playoffs already. Guys that need those playoff points or those stage points. So we could see a flop, a switch of guys pitting before that first stage ends if there's a caution. So we haven't mentioned much about strategy because it's all about the cautions when they come out. Yeah, like last year we talked about Majeski winning those stages. That's because the cautions didn't fall to give the opportunity people to flip the stages, and he went on to win the race. See, Rose now, members had to go to the back. He fought his way up to the 22nd spot. Tyler Rank finally was able to get by his teammate Christian Eckes to take over the third spot. And then now is driven away from him by about a second. Let's take a look back at how he got this spot.
Well, you knew if he got around him, he was going to drive away. He's just way faster than Eckes, and he finally got a good enough run off turn 4 where he could just slam it down into turn 1, slide up, and take that spot.
Nice move by Tyler. That's how to get it done on a short track like IRP.
And maybe you have to be just a little bit more patient when you're racing your teammate. These two are not teammates, and they're battling the lead. Ty Majeski inside of Grant Enfinger for the top spot at IRP. The 9 holds him off.
You don't have to be patient with your team, with your non-teammates.
I would say be patient with everyone at this stage of the race, but maybe less patient with a non-teammate.
Johnny Sauter joining us for a race here at Indy. He just went a lap down to our 2 leaders.
Ronnie had issues as well. I think they had to change the rear end gear, so he started from the back also.
Showing 26 trucks on the lead lap. Grant Enfinger, your race leader at Indianapolis Raceway Park.
27 laps to go in stage number 1. We'll go through the full field running order for the first time tonight. A 0.2 of a second lead and a good battle in lap traffic going on between Grant Enfinger and Ty Majeski. With the 9 truck of Enfinger leading every lap, it's still out in front. 2.9 seconds back is Tyler Ankrum in 3rd place. 4th is Christian Eckes, and Roger Karut is still in 5th. Matt Crafton right around where he qualified in 6th. Stuart Friesen in 7th. Corey Heim 8th. Luke Fenhouse with a good run in 9th. Dee Thompson rounds out the top 10 in 10th. Daniel Riggs 14th and Ross Chastain is 15th. 16th for Tanner Gray, Ty Dillon 17th, Chase Purdy 18th, Jack Wood 19th, and Taylor Gray is 20th. Jake Garcia 21st, Ben Rhodes from the rear of the field is up to 22nd, William Sowledge 23rd, Timmy Hill 24th, and the last truck currently in the lead lap at 25th is Bailey Curry. Fred Holmes the first truck a lap down at 26th, Johnny Sauter 27th, Mason Massey 28th, Marco Andretti 29th, Connor Daly 30th. 31st is Lawless Allen, Spencer Boyd 32nd, 33rd for Tyler Tomasi, 34th for Matt Mills and Thad Moffitt 35th. That rounds out our 35 truck field here tonight. And again, 60 laps in stages 1 and 2, final stage 80 laps tonight. About 15 minutes into this race as we are down to now 25 laps to go, 24 to go and counting down in stage 1. Our average race speed at 99.79 miles per hour in the early going. Chat poll is up per usual. You can vote for who you think is going to win this race here tonight. And it's a pretty tight poll, all things considered. 52 votes have been casted so far. 31% of you taking somebody other than Ross Chastain, Corey Heim, or Christian Eckes to go for the win. And as of right now, those two not in the top few in the running order. In fact, I believe they're all outside the top 3, yeah, because Christian Eckes got passed for 3rd. He's the highest running of those in 4th. Corey Heim in 8th. Ross Chastain 15th, as I just mentioned. But 31% of you voting again for somebody other than those 3. 27% have Corey Heim, 25% for Eckes so far, at 17% for Ross Chastain is the current voting poll. And again, that closes at the end of stage 2, which tonight will be lap 120 of 200. We'll take our first ad break of the stream. You're listening live on KRC at IRP to the TSport 200 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Back to action now on FS1. And still it is Grant Enfinger with the lead. 20 laps to go at the line now in stage 1. Again, 9 truck out in front of the field. Having a good go of things so far. See how much he can keep this momentum up for him.
It's what we feel like. He is not far because of starting at the back. There he is right there. He is just probably a second, maybe a second half in front of our leader, Enfinger. And Ben Rose can ill afford to lose a lap.
Like a Ben Rose, watching team, was there anything that I could do to help myself? So watching him come through this traffic, you gotta make this as long as you possibly can. It's losing a little bit of speed as you go into the corner. So he's gonna work on that for the next couple of laps. Up ahead of him is number 11. Can't say enough about the season that Corey Heim has been having. 5-time winner in 2024, but for him tonight, he hasn't really made any move as the caution flag is now flying here for Corey Heim. They've got some work to do. He wasn't happy with the truck in practice and qualifying, and so they've got some moves that they can make tonight. Adam.
Oh. O2's Mason Massey.
See, he's made significant contact, looks like, with the outside wall. Ty Dillon, you see him turned around in the 25 Rackley truck.
25 and 02 involved in caution number 1. Dillon doing double duty this weekend, running the truck race tonight. He'll run the Brickyard 400, the Cup race Sunday afternoon for Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Big fire lead. Huge break. Ben Rhodes.
I wouldn't be too surprised to see some activity on pit road here. Guys trying to flip the stages, take advantage of the fact that Ben Rhodes doesn't have any speed to go get a stage point. He's got a chance here to flip things.
And we know that we can make it to the end of the second stage if you stop here.
Drivers involved in the accident running outside the top 25. There is Ben Rhodes. You guys talked about him, currently 21st. It appears Timmy Hill will get the free pass. He scored 23rd right now.
We need a target.
They became involved.
Yeah, I didn't see anything on the 25 truck to indicate there may have been some contact.
Mason with a 11th place finish earlier on the short track in Martinsville. So I know he was looking forward to this race tonight, but unfortunately, things went wrong. Looks like the brunt of the damage is that right front.
Caller. How about Grant Enfinger coming to pit road?
Wow.
See, there would be some that would flip the stage. How about all those running up front?
We got post.
It stops with 16 to go, stage 1.
I'm a jet ski. Look at there, it's just chassis adjustment. These drivers say, I don't want a wrench in it. I just need air pressure adjustment. But that time they put the wrench back right rear. Solid pit stop for the 98. You see in the number 9, our leader, Grant Enfinger, come down right now. He's a little free on entry, so he has to a pound of air out of the rear to tighten that thing up. Good pit stop for the 9, down and away.
19 stop. 2. So they made a couple of adjustments. They should have started left the lane. Adam.
Eckes has that number 1 pit stall after being awarded the pole position last week at Pocono when qualifying was rained out, and that number 1 pit stall could be big as the evening unfolds.
Spot will be the last truck off pit road.
Bailey Curry, I think, was a lap down. He stayed out, so he'll take it
With only 15 left.
Yeah,
right now.
outstanding strategy.
Absolutely.
First caution of the night. Mason Massey, Ty Dillon both having problems. Restart when we return.
Kind of 2 separate incidences going on. Ty Dillon spun in the entry to turn 1, where Mason Massey popped the wall pretty hard off the exit of turn 2. Caution is out either way, though. And we have several drivers who ended up taking the wave around to get back on the lead lap with all the lead lap cars pitting. A couple of them chose to also hit pit road that were lap downs. Not everybody taking the wave around, but most of the trucks that were off the lead lap did. So first caution of the race with about 20 laps to go in stage number 1. We'll get this restart in with a little more than 10 laps to go in the first stage. Again, racing to lap 60 for those stage points. Drivers that took the wave around would include Lawless Allen, Bailey Curry, Brett Holmes, Marco Andretti, Connor Daly, Spencer Boyd, Matt Mills, and Tyler Tomasi. Those are all the drivers who took the wave around to get back on the lead lap with this caution. Free pass ended up going to William Sawalich. So he is now back on the lead lap, virtue of the free pass. Timmy Hill staying out on the racetrack here, probably conserving a set of tires, I'd assume, is why he stayed out of the pits. So he's going to be on older tires compared to everybody else. Timmy Hill did a great job staying on the lead lap before the caution came out to put him in this strategy. Now he's just got to stay on the lead lap to the end of the stage and stay out of trouble, which is going to be difficult with as many drivers as he's going to have lining up right behind him on fresh tires. Again, everybody on the lead lap pitted for fresh tires except for Hill in the 56 truck. So Enfinger in second on back. 4 fresh Goodyears, and it's not even like it's a couple laps. It's about 35, 40 laps. 40 laps of green flag racing on the set of tires Timmy Hill still has on his race car. And again, we will get ready for this restart. Be sure to hit the like button on the stream if you haven't done so yet. We're at 37 likes. Goals to get to 100 for this Truck Series stream. Yeah, my pick ended up being Christian Eckes. I don't know if I stated that or not in the pre-race. But I did take Eckes in tonight's race. Hasn't led yet, but he's been up in the top 5 at least. Probably going to have to make some adjustments, though. He's getting outran by his teammate Tyler Ankrum, who passed him for 3rd place about halfway through that last green flag run. Problems for Matt Kraft and a penalty on pit road. There you go. Stuart Friesen and Matt Crafton speeding on pit road. So we'll see how they'll try to come back from this.
Chose to wave for it. So with just a handful of laps to go on the stage, we'll have a huge reset. We go green in stage 2 with a lot of drivers that are still in the hunt. Front row, Enfinger, Majeski. $11 to go. Stage 1.
Waited in the box, and you can see Majeski kind of jumped, but he had to slow down. So give the advantage to. Let's just go through line and decide who gets the advantage.
Maybe it's Christian Eckes. Third in row 2 and looking for the top spot. Enfinger gets away.
I think Majeski realized that he was ahead of Enfinger and backed off. Look who's coming to the party now. Corey Heim. Corey Heim says, I'm ready to wrestle.
Quiet start from the 11 is now involved, going outside of the 19. Isn't it fitting to see these two side by side for position?
It's a nice take there off for turn 2. I saw some tire smoke. You can see the Goodyear rubbed off that left rear. There was contact there. I'm just thinking, Phil, these guys have raced each other so respectfully, but it's got to heat up. They know what's on the line, and side by side for the lead as well.
He won control of this race. Here comes Majeski.
He's sideways out. He can't get the job done.
98 restart violation. Here comes Majeski to pay his debt.
You can't make it worse. You can't speed on pit road right now. This is going to cost him a lap. You can see he jumped first. That's not allowed. I'm pointing that out. He backed her down, but in NASCAR's opinion, that was too much too soon. I thought maybe he backed her down and didn't jump ahead of Enfinger. They might let it go, but rule is a rule. He's on pit road. Like you said, Phil, he's going to lose a lap.
He comes into this race with a 125-point advantage over the cut line. He's going to make the playoffs, but you want wins. They don't have one yet.
It's gonna
And
give
he
us
just really created some problems for himself in that category.
But he's going to stay on the lead. And really surprising that he was able to get out in front of our leader, Grant Enfinger. We know he has the speed to stay in front of Grant Enfinger with 7 laps to go on the stage.
Jeske was pounding Infinger for the lead. Now it's Christian Eckes with 6 to go, stage 1.
keep your eye on the orange and blue truck back there, Tyler Aikman. He's been fast this whole race. She wants that bottom line to work for him and see if he can do something. Corey High, he bounces off turn 2. Doesn't get it done.
Hard battle towards the back on his top 10. Those stage points. See our pile on left of the screen as Eckes is going for the lead.
He's got the lead.
19th has been a short track sensation in 2024, winning 2 of our first 3 at these styles of tracks, and he's able to wrestle the top spot away from Grant Enfinger.
Just 4 laps to go to the end of this stage. Good little gap now for Eckes.
And a nice gap up there from Majeski. He's not going to lose a lap.
He's certainly going to lose a lot of track range. It'll be fun to watch him coming from at the beginning of the second stage.
We've documented how fast his truck is. Talk about a player. Here comes Ross Chastain.
He's the designated driver of that 45 truck tonight, and he is getting it done really fast on the lap times. Watching the scoring pylon, and he's putting down the fastest laps of the race right now.
Made his first ever national start in NASCAR in a truck right here at IRP in 2011. Came home in the top 10, driving for Stacy Compton.
And he's been turning heads ever since, hasn't he?
Cup superstar, no doubt.
I love that line down there mowing that grass, trying to get ahead of Roger Caruth before this stage ends. Only 2 to go.
Just a 10 guy right now, holding down the 10th spot. That could be a fight. If he can hold on to that spot.
Here at home, you're like, what the difference is a point? 1 point's all he's ahead of the cut line. And so he needs that point desperately. Every position on the racetrack is 1 point. You get a pass a guy, that's a point for you.
Just in front of him, Sammy Smith, qualified outside the top 10, but he's got a fast truck as we go to the latter part of this stage. Final lap, Christian Eckes in charge. This is the race for 5th. Eckes, Chastain, and Sanchez. Green and white checkered flag for Christian Eckes.
Raja's going to hold on to that.
Yeah.
It looked like Sanchez maybe had something to say about that.
He gassed her up right in the middle of the corner, didn't he?
6 stage wins this year for Christian Eckes. And that matches Corey High. Both. These two just know how to get it done. And it's happening again tonight at IRP.
So Christian Eckes from the 3rd place starting position tonight is going to go on to win the opening stage of the race through these first 60 laps. Took off a lot better off this restart than what he had fired off with at the initial start of the race, so adjustments going his way with that first stop. So after Eckes is going to go on to lead just 6 laps in stage 1. Obviously, again, he wins the stage. Grant Enfinger, who led 55 of the 60 laps in stage number 1, finishes 2nd. Corey Heim 3rd. Tyler Ankrum 4th. Raja Caruth 5th. Ross Chastain 6th. 7th for Nick Sanchez. Dean Thompson 8th. Sammy Smith 9th. And Daniel Dye rounded out the top 10. It's a big stage point for Dye, who came in only +1 over Tanner Gray. So outscores him in stage 1, 1-0. With Gray finishing back at 15th. Gray also started much deeper in the field, though, so he's done a great job cutting that deficit in half. Free pass goes to Johnny Sauter in 32nd at the stage end. He did not take the wave around under the first yellow. And all the drivers who did take the wave around will end up pitting for fresh tires here, so they'll have about a dozen lap or so fresher tires than the rest of the field that will more than likely end up staying out. And Timmy Hill, who stayed out of the pits initially and led that 1 lap during green flag pit stops, ended up coming back onto pit road the following lap. So just wanted to wait for everyone to really lose any positions out of it. And still got to obviously restart ahead of all the cars who ended up on the wave around. We'll take our second ad break of the race then while you're listening live on this KRC coverage of the TSport 200 at the IRP, Indianapolis Raceway Park, for the Craftsman Truck Series. So we talked about the playoff standings coming in. We still have a battle for this 10 points on the regular season side of things and one playoff point that carries over through every round at the playoffs as well. It's his 6th stage win of the year. He has 3 race wins on the season as well, so currently sitting at 24 playoff points now as we speak. I did my math wrong. 21 playoff points as we speak there for Christian Eckes. But you get an additional 15 playoff points if you win the regular season championship also, so that could be huge for him. Corey Heim is 32 points behind Eckes coming into the night. It would take a massive points day here for Eckes and a little bit of help if he clinches the regular season title here this evening. He would end up having to outscore Corey Heim by 18 points. Outscored him by 2 in stage 1, with Heim finishing 3rd in the stage, and again, Eckes P1.
It's not really
Basketball. The priorities bench for this team's pretty good.
I was carrying a water bottle, actually, so I was way at the end of the bench. There's the stage point breakdown. Holden I getting that single point could be the difference. Came in 1 above the cut line.
Probably pit road's busy during these breaks. So much right now.
Well, make it.
Stage 2, we return athletes.
Yeah, so under caution at the moment. Waiting for the restart again, it will be Eckes and Enfinger more than likely on this front row. Unless for some reason Enfinger decides to take the outside of row 2, but I doubt that that will be the case. Ross Chastain, one of the bigger movers in that first stage, started mid-pack, got up to 6th. Mentioned about Tanner Gray starting deep in the field and getting up to 15th. Ben Rhodes started at the tail end, had to drop to the rear before the start of the race. He got up to 18th place. Caution came out not long before it looked like he was going to go a lap down in stage 1, so got bailed out there. And Matt Kraft and Stuart Friesen, who both qualified in the top 10, ran top 10 through those first 40 laps prior to the first caution. Both had pit road speeding penalties during their first stop. Sent them to the back there, 20th and 20th. Much tougher situation. They were both below the cutoff line coming in. They don't get any stage points. It was looking like they were going to for the longest time. So waiting the stage 2 restart now. I don't know if you can hear that now. We got a siren going off in the background, so hopefully everything's all right there. It isn't for me, so I guess that's good. Keep the stream rolling. 42 likes on the stream so far, so again, hit that like button if you haven't done so yet. And again, tonight's race on Fox Sports 1, if you're wondering, where you can watch this race visually. All those trucks back on the lead lap. We'll see if we get another long green flag run to start stage 2, just like we had the first 40 laps of the race. Stage yellow would technically be the second caution of the race. After about a 12-lap dash to the end. Again, the only trucks that hit pit road during this stage caution were the trucks that didn't pit for tires during the late yellow in the first stage, which is everybody that took the wave around, because everybody who was initially on the lead lap would have pitted the first time.
Charge the beat. One of the first. It's a long run. Going to school though behind something back to our track ranger and Grant and Figure, now Christian Eckes. It's been a while from Chad Walter. It's mixing a little bit grip in the center. With the weather cooling off, it kind of comes to it.
Good point, Mom. I think this track probably has changed about all it's gonna. So obviously in Indiana, weekend for NASCAR.
It was a cool day to start with in Indiana.
I always remember racing here feeling it felt a little dark over there on the back straightaway. You kind of see that from that camera view there that the lighting isn't great off turn two.
And that outside wall is only about half as tall as it is front.
And you know what? Every time you come out there and go close to it, there's a cornfield back there, and I envision my Pontiac Grand Prix winding up in that cornfield a lot of times with the racing we did there.
Front row for the restart to begin our second stage. Eckes and Infinger, the only drivers that have led laps tonight. Here we go, second stint of the event. At IRP, the 9 jumps out front. So here comes Ankrum.
See him 3 wide back around the 10th spot.
Loves that apron, doesn't he? He's been really strong down there, has that 18 truck of Ankrum.
Watch that 11 though to the high side. Gonna try to keep that 18 down there. 18 has him cleared. He has Corey Heim cleared.
That Danny died. No, that's Ross Chastain trying to climb inside the top. He's in the top 5. He's looking for more.
That was a tease, wasn't it? I thought the same thing. I'm like, wow, where did he come from on a good start?
Side by side with Corey Heim in the 11. Tool tires there after this restart. Ross making it work.
Chastain a winner this year at Darlington. And keep in mind, on the pit box for the 45, Phil Gould, he was really good the last couple of years, calling the shots for Carson Hocevar. Problems for the 76 of Spencer Boyd, but he's able to get it to pit road.
It looked like it almost refired it right before he got to the pit road.
Stay green as you see the battle for the lead. Christian Eckes is all over Grant Infinger. See the top guy, Rod's in that 5th spot. Got Nick Sanchez behind him. Penthouse there, Sammy Smith all battling up near the top 10.
This is fun.
It is. It's great. I love it. That's what short track racing is all about when a track gives you these types of options. Remember a minute ago, Phil, a couple laps ago, Chastain just eating that bottom up. He switched gears. Now he's up top.
Bob Majeski, we documented the fact that he got a restart violation, lost all his track position, not battling his way back up into the top 15.
I mentioned the fact that, he got the penalty, even though it hurts his track position. He came in 125 above the pit line. I said he's going to the playoffs. He has now, in fact, clinched the spot in the postseason. He'll run for the title. Talking about Ty Majeski.
Oh, look at this. Talking about options. He's taking that third option, which is right up the middle.
The 17 on the outside. I think Majeski wants that middle. Now he's going to try to cut under the 13 of Garcia.
Well, when you make a mistake, and that was a mistake by Majeski, he anticipated the start, but he just went too soon. When you make a mistake like that, you just want to redeem yourself or your team. He's battling tooth and nail with those other trucks to get back up toward the top 10. Great battle. That's Lane Riggs, 38. They're closing in on Corey Heim in that 11 truck. Heim doesn't have the speed tonight that we're used to being out of that 11.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen Riggs up in the top 10 right now, running in the 7th spot. Remember, he finished 3rd here last year.
Top 10 in his debut right here at IRP 2 seasons ago. Talking about Lane Riggs.
Right down on the bottom, trying to make the pass on the 11, Corey Heim. Sent it in there into the corner, able to clear Corey Heim.
He did. That's a short track move, wasn't it? Clear yourself, like we said earlier, was able to do just that. Had that great run in North Wilkesboro, too. He's a short track guy. A couple of rough weeks for that 38. It's good to see him having a good run.
Eck is just hanging around, isn't he?
Derek Ross, though, on the high side, closing in on this front 2 battling for the lead.
45 of Ross Chastain got made up 13 spots. He told his crew he's a little loose on entry, tight on exit. Part of that to manage, Mikey, when you're trying to make moves to the front.
For the 11, guy, maybe on that right to get a better exit. But if you remember back a bit ago now, there was a little bit of contact between the number 19 of Christian Eckes and Corey Heim in that number 11 you see on the screen. And there's damage to the left front of Corey Strock. And he said, not terrible. definitely not helping them, and it's something they're going to have to address when they come in because it thinks might be taking away some of their speed. Adam.
Hey Adam, how cool is it seeing him running right out next to us outside the short track? We saw that at North Wilkesboro too earlier in the season. Remember, they were all over that little half-mile racetrack, and here they are doing it in Indy.
Race fans, we are staying with all the action here at IRP. Commercial free with Crank It Up, sponsored by Craftsman. Your phone now and get ready to scan the QR code for the Craftsman deal of the race. Craftsman's back on track with deal of the race during this year's Craftsman Truck Series.
Look how they say commercial free, and in the middle of the commercial free, they drop a Craftsman ad. Not commercial free.
Get the jet done. Twins.
Oh, Heim's got a problem.
20. Get them done. Stand for the current team. Your hand. Oh no. Do it fast. With Craftsman.
Whole lot going on here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Big impact, Corey Hahn. And the caution is out. Third time tonight. Connor Daly in the 44. He's got sparks everywhere.
Away, Daniel Dye made a good stop. Lost a lap on pit road.
He's all the way back in the 32nd place, Phil. You know about how tight things are around the playoff bubble, and he just took a big hit. He's not going to get the free pass here either. We're hearing on the radio that his right front wheel was loose, so they had to come in and fix that. That's a shame. He'll be in a battle here to try to get the free pass for Heim. I'm happy with Christian Eckes.
I think we talked about the left front damage, the fact he felt like it was going to affect him, and I think he's voicing his displeasure with the 19 of Christian Eckes for that damage.
That rubbed that sway bar arm off, Phil. I don't understand why he keeps going.
Okay, he's already being shown a lap down. I mean, there's no sense waiting till pit road opens. He needs to come to pit road, make the repairs. He's going to have to start at the back anyway. He's just taking a chance at the sway bar.
You know, I don't like that, but we'll see. Hopefully he'll get away with it. Now you got Heim a lap down. You've got Daniel Dye as well.
I could have more damage, though, with that left front sway bar arm, possibly.
No doubt.
Should be coming to pit road this time. Here he comes.
Up there to tell Eckes he didn't like that at all. I talked earlier about these two racing each other so respectfully all year long. Things are heating up as the playoffs approach, Mr. Alexander. You've seen this before, haven't you?
But I think we know these are the two that are going to be fighting for it all the way to the end. That little rivalry is nice in the Truck Series, Jamie.
Where Corey Hahn has finally made it into the pit stop after already making one trip down pit lane, made the decision not to stop. There was a miscommunication with the team, a lot of frustration over the radio. Corey Heim not happy with the contact that happened earlier with Trish Neckett, feeling like that's the whole reason behind this incident. But for Corey now, the issue could be even worse because the sway bar was dragging as he was trying to get that truck back around. We have to wait and see if he's able to continue. On the radio of Christian Eckes, though, Christian Eckes was saying to his team, why is he mad at me? Why did he come after me? And the team said, well, I don't know. I mean, there was contact earlier, but it doesn't matter for you. You're leading this race. Put your head down and just ride on your own.
Hell, whether it was down in the left front or whether it was just a shadow.
This is huge when you talk about that regular season points battle as well. Heim came in, it was going to be a challenge, right, for him to overcome Eckes. But with what has transpired here, going to make it a real uphill climb for Heim, who's trying to chase down that 19. And we did get word from NASCAR, the 11 actually going to get his lap back through all this. That's enormous for them. If they got everything repaired, you never want to write this guy off.
Yeah, if he can get his lap back, he will restart from the tail of the field, more than likely. But that's huge, not having to worry about getting a free pass or whatever the case may be.
What that means, Phil, I think, is that he was on the lead lap at the moment of caution. So as the trucks went by him, it pinned him a lap down. The team said to NASCAR, we were on the lead lap when the caution fell. We get our lap back.
And maintaining caution speed. The other competitors may have been a little faster at that moment than he was.
And that could be big, too, for Daniel Dye.
Oh, yes.
Daniel Dye's the free pass position. And we know in about 30 laps, for sure, 30 laps, maybe before that. But we know at the end of the stage, we'll get another caution that will open the door for someone to return to the lead lap via the free pass.
Yeah, we saw Corey passing trucks. That's the only way that scoring can keep up with the fact that he gets his lap back, is NASCAR will allow him to pass all the trucks and the pace car and rejoin the field. That puts him on the lead lap.
And you can see also that left front is down on the ground. So that means that sway bar arm did not rub off. I think he's going fast enough where if that thing wasn't functioning, the left front would be on. I think we found through our videotape what Christian Eckes did to make Corey Heim a little bit heated here. This is off turn 2, squeezes him up high, and watch, late, there's the contact, I think, that probably caused that left front problem. And see if we can get a look at it here, and made Corey Heim think, man, you can't be squeezing me like that. Corey had a little bit of room up to the right, so it was like a good racing did that way.
Yeah, I think we saw that right after the restart. We talked about maybe there was some contact right there. We saw the letters that were worn off the left rear of Corey's truck, but he was talking on the radio about his left front, and sure enough, there was an issue with the left front.
That's that's the heat of the battle. That's racing toward the playoffs and getting ready to battle for a championship. I think maybe Corey will watch that back and say, yeah, no, wasn't that big a deal.
Meanwhile, Ty Majeski has worked his way back to the top 10.
You're kidding me.
I mean, that's before the choose. You get the choose, another restart, you bunch him up, and boy, he'll be a big part of the equation before it's over with, you got to believe.
Bam.
There's another look.
You see that Christian was coming up, but there was room for Corey to go a little bit higher. What do you see, Phil?
Short track racing to me.
I'm going to say that he because there looked like there's maybe a foot or maybe even less, and that's still pretty close to the outside wall. We have the advantage of looking at it straight on, and you could see exactly how much room he had. But I'm like you, it's just hard racing. Early on, racing for position after a restart. All these drivers know how difficult it is and challenging to pass. You want to take advantage when you can.
Eckes and Enfinger on the front row for the restart. They've been dominant this evening, combining to lead the first 91 laps. It's going to be 28 to go stage 2 as we hit the green flag again at IRP.
They hit the gas. These restarts, we've seen a lot of crazy action. Lost Chastain likes that bottom on the get-go.
They sure spread out down there as 1 and 2 from the top to the bottom.
It's about that way at 3 and 4 to go, Bill.
And maybe down the straightaways.
Lane Riggs riding the high side.
Lane into the top 5 with that 38 truck.
Chastain up to second. On the inside of Enfinger, side by side for third. It's Agram, orange and blue, number 18, going after Infinger.
So Majeski trying to get by Raja Ruth, already back up into the top 10. It's going to be fun to watch Corey Haim's progress as well from the back of the pack.
How much you think Ross Chastain's caught Christian X's attention to the way he's charged through the field around to the second position? His spotters on the roof saying he's running really low at times, and he also is able to run really high. He's got a versatile truck, does Ross, in that 45.
Corey Haim last time around scored in 17th position.
Secret Ethics fading a little bit now, just back to the 5th spot. 38 if Briggs was able to get by him.
And Jeske looked to take it right down the boulevard off the corner.
Followed by the Dean Thompson trying to get by that 2 truck of Sanchez.
Strong number 5 truck Dean Thompson has. Started earlier today in practice. We noticed a lot of speed from Dean, and he just keeps marching forward.
What his confidence hit an all-time high. This is a tough racetrack, and he has come to play.
Look at that truck gripping really good down on the bottom, and you see the 2 truck taking on Infinger. Nick Sanchez to the bottom. Does he slide up?
Tried to slide him, didn't quite clear him.
Tom Majeski said, y'all have fun up there. I got places I got to go.
Right against the grass. That was a little bit of a slider that worked for Majeski.
Yeah, Majeski, you get the penalty on a restart when you're battling for the lead. You make the pit stop under green, stay on the lead lap, and you drive yourself back up inside the top 10. He's 6th, and still plenty more time to pick up some position here at the end of stage 2. 22 remaining.
I said it earlier, Adam. If you want to come back and make up for the mistake you made for your team, teams so hard for these opportunities to go out and win. Everybody knows how Majeski is everywhere, but especially the short tracks. He's trying to get it done.
Keep an eye on Corey Haim. Scoring monitor has him all the way back up for the 12th spot.
Whoa, it's hard to believe that he can get stage points here. Nicholas Grant Infinger just continues to slide. He's back outside the top 10 in 11th.
Here's Corey Haim right there trying to go by Sammy Smith and Bailey Curry. Sammy in the 7th, Bailey Curry in the 41. Look, right against the grass, was he, Corey Haim?
I just love that. I remember back in the day running the Busch race here at Xfinity, Ernie Irvin was down there kicking the dirt, dust, running that line. Nobody had seen that before, but I think these guys now know what all's possible here at IRP.
Majeski outside of Dean Thompson, put him to the top 5.
Corey Haim already back into the top 10.
You know, that adjustment after the problem with the flat tire, that truck it was just average. The top 10 truck for sure, but not great. But now I think they've got it tuned up the way he likes it.
19 laps to go, stage 2. Eckes, Chastain, Ankrum, Briggs, Majeski, your top 5. Good finish to stage number 2 when we return on FS1.
18 laps to go in from 3rd. Lane Riggs 4th, and Ty Majeski's in 5th place. Dean Thompson in 6th. Nick Sanchez 7th. Raja Caruth 8th. Corey Haim 9th. Luke Fenhaus rounds out the top 10. So that is the top 10 in the running order. Late going of stage 2 here tonight at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. We'll take another ad break. You're listening live on KRC to the TSport 200. 68 votes remain, or 68 votes, I should say, have been casted already for who you think is going to win this race tonight. Our current race leader and stage 1 winner, Christian Eckes, having just 25% of those 68 votes so far. Corey Haim, 26%, 18% for Chastain, but the vote leader is for somebody other than those 3 to win. And I'd say that those 3 look like the 3 quickest trucks in the field so far tonight. So, with that being said, I think the odds are maybe stacked against you guys, but again, that poll does not close for another 16 laps yet. Ty Majeski also looks quick. I'd probably throw him in there as like the 4th quickest truck. It looked like the 9 of Grant Enfinger had a lot of speed early on when the sun was still in now complete darkness at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. The driver who's led the most laps tonight, 71 laps led for Grant Enfinger, really nowhere to be found up in contention for this race lead. Enfinger's dropped all the way back to 15th place during this Stage 2 run. And he restarted in the lead at the very beginning of the stage 2, so they've definitely gone the wrong way with an adjustment and or a combination of just not keeping up with the racetrack through that very first stop. I would say anywhere between 2 to 3 more pit stops remain in this race by way of how many tires these teams get. Past halfway, lap 108 of 200 tonight. Again, 13 laps to go yet in stage 2. Lead is now 1.6 seconds for Christian Eckes over second place Ross Chastain.
For the Craftsman Truck Series, got a whole lot going on in this race. We've had a ton of adversity for some big name drivers. Ty Majeski overcomes a penalty, drives to 4th. Corey Heim has the issue. He drives back to 7th. What about Matt Crafton speeding penalty? He's now 9th. And we need to keep an eye on Stuart Friesen. He could go a lap down. Likely will. And if he does, that would take the pre-pass position away from Daniel Dye, who also had an unscheduled pit.
10 laps to go in stage 2 this time by then. Christian Eckes continues to grow his lead out. That lap, he was well quicker than second place Ross Chastain, over 2/10 faster than him. Tyler Ankrum in third place, actually a couple tenths quicker than Chastain as well. So the gap between second and third is starting to close, as it's within just a couple tenths of a second now. Those two trucks run nose to tail, nearly. Matt Crafton, after his speeding penalty, has broken his way into the top 10 up to 8th place. He qualified in the top 10 initially. That speeding penalty came during the pit stops with the first caution back at lap 40, so he didn't get any stage points in stage 1. But again, he's slowly working his way through the field. Not as quickly, though, as what Corey Heim ripped his way all the way through the field. He restarted at the tail end of the field here on this last restart and already has gotten himself up to 5th as he makes the pass on Lane Riggs. So he's going to score quite a few stage points, and it's keeping him at least mathematically alive for this regular season championship through the first 2 stages tonight, even though he's going to lose points to Eckes in each of the first 2 stages, but only a couple of them. Eckes won stage 1, so he's trying to go for the stage sweeps here tonight. And as far as who has led the most stage or won the most stages in the series, it is currently a tie between Corey Heim and Christian Eckes for the most stage wins. Heim came into the night with 6-5 for Eckes, but Eckes, after winning stage 1, obviously got his 6th there. So if Eckes wins stage 2, he'll break a tie with Corey Heim for the most stage points this year. And that 52 truck of Stuart Friesen just seems very off. Now, he also qualified in the top 10 and had a speeding penalty at the same time Matt Crafton did. Obviously, he's still at the tail end of the field. That truck is just struggling for speed right now. He's now 29th. A lap down. 3 wide battle for second. Tyler Ankrum, Ty Majeski, and Ross Chastain all battling late in stage 2. 6 to go right now. Corey Heim just behind the trio. 3 wide up off the exit of turn 4 again. Ankrum was on the bottom, the 98 truck in the middle, and Chastain up on the high side. Heim now gets to the outside of the 18, who couldn't stay 3 wide on the bottom lane of the racetrack. Big slide job in the middle of 1 and 2 by Ty Majeski as he clears the 45 of Chastain. Chastain got held up behind Majeski as a result of that, and now Heim goes 3 wide underneath the 18 and the 45. And clears them both. What a power move by Corey Heim. It might be Heim time tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He is the quickest truck on the racetrack late in the stage, and he may get a chance to get right back up to Eckes when we begin the final stage of the race. In just 1 green flag run, he's gone from the tail end of the lead lap to 3rd on a short track nonetheless, and he's all over the back of Ty Majeski for 2nd with 3 to go now in stage 2. And Chastain, who was just in 2nd place about 4 or 5 laps ago, again is now back to 5th. And Matt Crafton closing on him for that 5th place position. Don't count Crafton out of it. He's come from behind in this one. And Crafton is on the inside of Chastain now for 5th place. It's going to be much needed stage points, although to try to point his way into the playoffs, it ain't looking likely for the 3-time truck champion Crafton. Definitely going to be going hard for that win. It's been a couple seasons since Crafton has gone to victory lane. Final lap, stage 2 now. Crafton gets to the inside of Tyler Ankrum for 4th also. Side by side at the line between those two trucks. 88 on the bottom, 18 on the top. Eckes is working on Marco Andretti in the 04 truck to try to put him a lap down for 27th. Up off the exit of turn 4. Andretti will get the free pass at the end of the stage as he is the first truck 1 lap down, and Christian Eckes wins stage 2. Corey Heim on the last lap of the stage was able to get by Ty Majeski for 2nd place. So Majeski fell to 3rd. Crafton on the last lap also made a pass for 4th on Tyler Ankrum. So top 5 in the stage, and in this order, Christian Eckes first as he sweeps the stages tonight at IRP. Corey Heim, big mover to get back up to 2nd place. Ty Majeski 3rd, Tyler Ankrum 4th, and again Matt Crafton 4th, and Tyler Ankrum ended up 5th. Ross Chastain 6th, Lane Riggs 7th, Dean Thompson 8th, Raja Karuth 9th, and Nick Sanchez 10th. So that was the top 10 and all the drivers getting stage points through stage 2 tonight. And again, Marco Andretti in 27th will get the free pass. First truck a lap down at the time of the yellow. So our 4th caution of the race. We had 1 caution for incident in stage 1 and stage 2. And the 2 stage ends at laps 60 and 120 have been our 4 yellows. And now that we are at the end of stage 2, we'll end the voting poll. 72 votes were casted, and your vote is for somebody other than Eckes, Heim, or Chastain to win tonight. Chastain fell behind to 6th place late in that stage. 25% going for Eckes and Heim, so tied for 2nd in the poll there. But 29% again taking somebody other than those 3. Really 30%. For some reason in the chat poll on YouTube, it always, when you end it, it goes down a percentage for whoever has the top spot. So 30% of you saying somebody other than Eckes, Heim, or Chastain will win. And again, 72 votes were casted. 46 likes on the stream so far. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Other thing we have to get through here during stage 2 is our diecast showing. And this weekend, with it being the Brickyard 400, I'm going to do diecast showings for all Brickyard 400 former winners. This one is a Tony Stewart diecast from 2009. The Wing Car of Tomorrow era, and it is his Old Spice paint scheme. 1/64 scale diecast Chevrolet for Stuart Haas Racing. Again, 2009, first year of SHR. One of the couple paint schemes that Stuart had through this season. Old Spice and Office Depot for the most part he was running with. Had Burger King actually on the car as well, that summer race at Daytona. Yeah, Old Spice paint scheme here for Tony Stewart. Again, 2009 diecast here for the Car of Tomorrow. So that is our stage 2 showing here tonight. Hopefully you got a good glimpse of that on the camera. Both my fingers didn't take up too much of it, and it wasn't too potatoey, I guess, in the camera lens. Got pit stops.
And finger in for his stop and adjustment. He led 71 laps early, but he had lost the handling to this number 9 Chevrolet. They are going to do a round and a half clutch retreat, 4 tires into the corner, and he'll be down after the stop. Jamie?
Well, you can see on the screen the number 11 and the 19 are already out of their pit stops. Stops completed for the number 11. He took 4 new tires. Big thing about that is that the last set of fresh tires that he has, having already made that unscheduled stop there. So with 76 laps still to go, he's going to have to be conservative here in terms of using up that rubber. For Christian Eckes, they've told him that you've got to he's transitioning just a little bit too tight. And Christian responded and he said, I need more. We've got to keep pushing. I got to need more. The 11's too fast. And Charleston Ike's crew chief very quickly cut him off and said, no, we're not. He's not. Do not let him get in your head. You need to calm down. We're running our own race. And so Christian Ike said, no, we just need to keep working, guys.
What?
Final stage coming your way when we return on
That's a mouthful.
Heck is high up front at IRP.
It's not like she was having a stroke in the middle of her sentence. I've been there before, though. I was actually there at the very beginning of the night, if you remembered, and were watching live in the early minutes of the stream. So, all's fair there. Just a good ball game today. 5-4 win again. Hey, man, I'd rather watch NASCAR. I mean, that's just me. We're here. We're watching NASCAR. It's racing season. You know, I keep up with the Tigers, don't get me wrong, but try to get to a few games a year still. But, yeah, good to hear, though. Staying hot after the All-Star break. So, again, Christian Eckes wins the first two stages tonight. 54 laps led total for him. Roger Crute did not lead a lap from the pole. And when Timmy Hill took the lead during the pit stop cycling, he never actually led a lap on our sheet. So the only two drivers to actually lead laps tonight are Christian Eckes, who has led 2 different times, and Grant Enfinger, who's led 2 times. So 4 lead changes total amongst those 2 different leaders, with Crute, again, being the one that started on the pole. But as you heard there during the pit stop sequencing during stage 2 break, is that Corey Himes on his last set of tires after having to make the unscheduled stop in the middle of stage 2 for the flat left front. They changed tires at that time, so everybody in the field's got one more set. Corey Himes, of those on the lead lap, though, is already on his final one, so he's basically going to need this race to stay green the rest of the way for this to actually work out for him. If not green the rest of the way, get a couple of early cautions, like very early in the stage, that causes for not anybody else to hit pit road. But if we get a long green flag run and then a caution, I think Corey Himes' chances of winning are going to go out the window at that point. We'll see how it goes, though. Corey Himes a trooper. I think at this point here tonight, he'd be happy to still be within mathematical contention for the regular season title if he can go on and have a solid run in this race, even if Christian Eckes is the one that goes on to win. Eckes only outscored Himes by 3 stage points today, 2 in stage 1, 1 in stage 2. Himes second, third in the stages, first and first for Eckes, so Eckes trying to go for a max points day. The difference was 32 points between them coming in, so it would be 35 points as they run through the first 2 stages as of right now.
Raceway Park, hosting the Craftsman Truck Series. Great night here in Central Indiana. Only one race to go after tonight before we go playoff racing.
Playoff?
Hopes to be a part of the championship equation. Taylor Gray off his row.
Rubbed off the right front. I think maybe that he was cleaning the tires or something off and maybe got into another truck, or maybe possibly exiting pit road. That's some content.
Look, the bubble here, Ty Majeski is locked in on points as we talk about the playoff chase. Ben Rhodes has helped himself tonight, improving his position by 3 points over the cut line. Tanner Gray has jumped above. Daniel Dye has fallen below with the problems the 43 has had here tonight.
Quietly through Tanner Gray, because we really haven't even seen Tanner Gray this year.
All right, here we go. 71 laps left on the restart. Final stage about to begin. Green flag is in the air. Eckes Himes on the front row. Eckes fires off well, taking the inside lane for the restart. We haven't seen that out of the front row starter all day today. But it's going to work out for Eckes as he'll be clear off turn 2 with the lead. 4 wide in the middle of the pack in the center of 3 and 4. Didn't really look like there was any major contact there either, as everybody makes it and continues to fan out through 3 and 4 on the other end of the track as we complete the first green flag lap of Stage 3. Battle for second between Corey Heim and Ty Majeski. Majeski's trying to swing to the outside of the 11, gasses it up in the middle of the corner, but Heim holds clear for now. Both trucks down towards the bottom. Middle of the racetrack, diamonding the corner off. Bigger cut in the center of the corner by Majeski. Rolls underneath the 11. And he'll try to make the pass on the inside this time in 1 and 2 because the outside didn't work the lap before. Slide job maneuver by Heim carries that momentum on the backstretch. Majeski trying to roll through the center of 3 and 4 well. Nick Sanchez out of nowhere up to 4th. Highest he's been in the running order all night. Quiet moves through the field for Sanchez in the 2 truck. Meanwhile, Majeski did clear off turn 4 for second on Heim. We'll see if Majeski's got anything for Eckes. Made a big chassis adjustment on that 98 truck during that last pit stop. So we'll see if it's going to end up working out for him. Tyler Ankrum now to the inside of the 2 of Sanchez, who's able to get the 4th on the restart. And Grant Enfinger on this restart also moving up. Had a pretty good pit stop. He's up to 6. He was 15th at the end of Stage 2. After leading the most laps through the first 2 stages combined, he still led the most laps at this point, though Eck is fastly approaching him in that category. And Corey Heim's starting to go backwards, as I'm sure Heim's probably just conserving his tires at this point as much as he can, knowing he's on his final set, if I had to guess, because the speed he showed back in Stage 2, I mean, it looked like he was going to have something to contend for the race win with, but now he's off the tire strategy sequence, and he's faltering as a result. Ankrum clears a quick pass on Corey Heim for 3rd. Sanchez and Enfinger now both trying to work around each other as they grow closer to the back bumper of the 11 of Heim. Top 10 in the running order on the restart has Christian Eckes in the lead. Ty Majeski is 1 second off the lead in 2nd place. Tyler Ankrum 3rd, 2.3 seconds back. Corey Heim in 4th, 2.5 seconds off the lead. And Nick Sanchez is 2.8 seconds back in 5th. Grant Enfinger is 2.9 seconds off the lead in 6th. Lane Riggs in 7th, 3.8 seconds off the lead. 3.4 seconds back, 4.3 seconds back, was Dean Thompson in 8th. Caruth actually now just makes that pass, so Caruth and Thompson swapping positions. Caruth was 9th, now up to 8th. 4.6 seconds off the lead for Raja. And Sammy Smith rounds out the top 10 in 10th place. Sammy is 4.8 seconds back of the race leader, Eckes. That last lap, a little over 1/10 of a second quicker for the 2nd place driver, Ty Majeski, so he is getting closer to Christian. Still got a little ways until lap traffic comes into play here in this final stage. About 10 laps into the restart now. Lane Riggs to the outside of the 11. He'll get by him. Good run for Riggs. He made his debut here a couple seasons ago at IRP and had a top 10. This is the first full-time season for Riggs. It hasn't gone his way so far, but at least he has had good runs on the short tracks, and tonight another one, obviously, to boot with that. Half a second lead for Eckes on Majeski. Majeski definitely closing in. Now, Majeski is winless this season, but as you heard on the broadcast earlier tonight, he is now locked into the Truck Series playoff field on points. Came into this race 2 full races above the cutoff line with 2 races to go. The only reason he wasn't mathematically locked in was in case we had a couple of different winners below the cutoff line. He would have gotten outscored by almost 2 full races worth of points. Some points through stage 1 alone, despite not scoring many stage points. Didn't take much to clear, and he scored even more stage points in stage 2. Playoff points are still awarded for the top 10 regular season standing positioning orders. 15, obviously, in the vast majority of those playoff points are going to the regular season champion. But then it's 1 playoff point per position from 9th through 10th, kind of similar to how the first 2 stages are. For every position in the top 10 during a race, it's only for the stage winner. But in this case, for the regular season standings, there's playoff points on the line through each of those positions. So Majeski still trying to have a good points day as a result of that. And he's putting a great battle for the race lead on now with Eckes. 57 laps to go, and these two are nose to tail battling up in front of the field. And separating themselves in the process away from Ankrum and Enfinger, at least for now. We'll see if this is going to give a chance for Ankrum and Enfinger to maybe close that gap a little bit on these top two trucks who are now side by side for the lead off turn 4. Majeski definitely looks quicker at this point in the run. How hard is he pushing on this track that is very abrasive for tires? Big slide job by Majeski, clear. Center of turns 1 and 2. Eckes pulls to the inside, trying the crossover. And we'll see if Eckes can hold with him now on the other end of the track through 3 and 4. He does not. Majeski beats him back to the throttle. Majeski is clear off turn 4. First lap led of the night for Ty Majeski at TSport Racing. He's had a topsy-turvy day through the running order. Fell behind after a pit road speeding penalty in stage 1, but was able to overcome that and now is out in front for the first time. Rather, it was a restart lane violation for Majeski, so he actually had to serve that penalty under green late in the first stage. It was off that restart from the lap 40 incident. Great job driving up through the field from that. And Christian Eckes did eclipse the most laps led in this race so far. 73 laps led for the 19. 2 laps more than what Grant Enfinger was able to lead in the first half of the race, who led 71, and now Majeski's led the last 2. So again, 53 laps to go. Commercial break on FS1 going right now. Side by side at that. We'll go through the full field running order one more time in this one. Again, Ty Majeski, the race leader. Christian Eckes in second. Tyler Ankrum third. Grant Enfinger in fourth. Lane Riggs fifth. Nick Sanchez in sixth. Raja Karuth in seventh. Corey Heim eighth. Sammy Smith ninth. And Ross Chastain is 10th. Luke Fenhouse in 11th. Dean Thompson 12th. Bailey Curry 13th. Tanner Gray 14th. And Ty Dillon 15th. Chase Purdy in 16th. William Sawalich in 17th. Matt Kraft in 18th. Taylor Gray 19th. And Jack Wood is 20th. Ben Rhodes 21st. Brett Holmes 22nd. Timmy Hill 23rd. Johnny Sauter 24th. Matt Mills 25th. 26th for Daniel Dye. Lawless Allen 27th. Marco Andretti last truck on the lead lap at 28th. Stuart Friesen a lap down in 29th. Connor Daly 30th. Tyler Tomasi in 31st. Thad Moffitt 32nd. 33rd is Jake Garcia. Spencer Boyd out of the race 34th. Mason Massey hit the wall hard in stage 1. DNF from this race after that incident. Lap 44 is when he officially DNF for himself. So 2 trucks out of the race. Wallace Allen and Marco Andretti just went a lap down that last lap, so we're down to 26 trucks on the lead lap all of a sudden. As we continue to stay green in the early going of stage 3. So again, Ty Majeski out in front of the field. We'll take an ad break. 50 laps to go at IRP in the TSport 200. Really with the old playoffs. Talking about playoffs. Yeah, just got to change the wording a little bit there to winning a race instead of a game. Can't even win a race. Playoffs.
Ty Majeski just took the top spot away from Christian Eckes. Rayer 1C. Ankrum is third. Enfinger is fourth. Riggs is.
So man, Daniel Dye getting ready to go down a lap. Remember, he took the wave around, so he's on much older tires than is Majeski. He was hoping for a caution. If a caution would come out right now, that would still be okay because he would get the free pass. So it's important for him to get a caution prior to Majeski lapping another truck that's on the lead lap, and the next one would be Matt Mills.
Made it for the 43. Oh, he might get a caution right here. Look, what a mess. Well, fourth, Marco Andretti. 33, Lawless Allen. They're a lap down. The 9 and 18 are not. Enfinger and Ankrum getting after it with 45 to go.
Like Andretti, Wallace out, getting after it as well. Contact between the two of them.
Daniel Dodge cheer two of them. Get a little bit more aggressive with that. With Lane Riggs slipping by on the bottom.
Not yet ready to get into Wallace. Helm, turn him sideways. Nice save.
Really good save. Back end was dancing big time. You know, these two really have seen a lot of each other tonight because back in the ARCA race, they were hanging right there around 6th, 7th, 8th all night long.
There's Tanner Gray. We talked about him being above the cut line. Just a very solid effort running up in the top 15. Not flashy, but doing what he needed to.
A little bit of contact with the outside wall and qualifying. Quite the venture for this team, but like you said, Bill, just being able to persevere and do exactly what they need to do here tonight.
Right now, we know that Daniel Dye just went a lap down. He's still in the free pass spot as of now, but he's going to need a caution flag relatively soon.
Tanner Gray came in one that. He's now 10 to the good. You see it in the pylon. You know, he's not had a top 10 finish since Darlington, Tanner Gray. So even though they're not in the top 10 right now, could go a long way in making a playoff position if they can finish this thing off tonight, take advantage of the problems of Daniel Dye. Chase Purdy in the top 15.
Yeah, Chase has had two sixth-place finishes in his last 3 starts. It's been a solid year for Chase over at Spire Motorsports.
Right behind him, you see there Ty Dillon in that white blue truck, 25. Saw him spun around earlier in the race. He's got it corrected. He's just outside the top 15. As you see Matt Mills trying to stay on the lead lap. There's Ty Dillon off turn 2. There's battles all over this racetrack. There's Williams Wallace.
He's such a good car in the ARCA Menard Series race. Ended up getting beat by Connor Zilish. Actually lost second as well. Andres Perez, but a solid effort. Pole sitter with the ARCA Menard Series race tonight.
But a ton of laps.
Andres Perez just keeps cutting at it too, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. He's our point leader in the ARCA Menard Series. Halfway through the season.
10 down, 10 to go. Next up, they'll be racing on FS1 next weekend here in the Hoosier State. Southern Indiana, same.
Get about 75 degrees more banking from this racetrack.
What a racetrack Salem is. Man, I grew up going there and watched my big brother.
It was so good.
Just dominate there.
He's pretty good. A lot of times, actually.
He won 11 or something at Bristol, didn't he? I believe I'm correct in saying.
Maybe both, actually.
2-second lead now for Majeski over Eckes. Good battle here between Sanchez and Raja Caruth for the 6th spot.
Caruth won the pole, has been quiet, been hanging around the top 10 all night long.
Look at those trucks slip and slide off turn 4. Caruth makes a nice move.
You know, right now on Nick Sanchez in the 2. Had a solid run all evening, just not quite where they need the handling to be. I talked to Bono Mannion after that. I could stop when I asked him, do you think you have something for the guys in front of me? He said, we need to have the right adjustment. Not sure if they've got the right adjustment so far. Nick is kind of stuck running the top. I can't really maybe.
For Lane Riggs at the number 38, this is a race he had circled on his calendar. Reason being, this is where he made his Truck Series debut just 2 years ago. But his dad, Scott Riggs, made his Truck Series debut here back in 1999. So a lot of good memories here. Tonight, he's been able to make up 10 positions so far, 5 of them to come in the last 45 laps. But in that effort, did push it just a little bit hard. Trying to tires, he's pushing and his truck on the racetrack. But so he's backed the pace down a little bit, but now feels like they might have gone too high on the airbrush. He's having a hard time finding grip. Adam.
And Jamie, Lane Riggs 5th in a Ford, and a Ford leading the way with 4 laps to go. And the Blue Oval has not been the victory lane so far in 2024.
How about right side of your screen, Sammy Smith? We talked about him earlier. He's made his way up into the top 10 now. The 7th spot, chasing down the 6th spot of Raja Caruth, was able to get by Nick Sanchez. Nick was trying to get by, actually made the pass on Raja Caruth. Raja crossed him over and got back by him and brought Sammy Smith with him.
You know, I've been waiting for Sammy Smith to turn up in the top 5, top 10 at least, because he's been so fast. Looking at the scoring monitor, he's one of the top 5 fastest trucks all night long. Finally getting that track position, doing a great job is Sammy Smith in that 7. He's got a big day tomorrow in Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Xfinity Series, involved in that bubble battle there. Just over 30 to go. Ty Majeski leading at IRP.
32 laps left at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Again, Ty Majeski out in front of the field. Christian Eck is second. Grant Enfinger third. Tyler Ankrum fourth. Lane Riggs is in fifth. Raja Karut sixth. Sammy Smith seventh. Nick Sanchez eighth. Luke Fenhouse ninth. Ross Chastain 10th. That is the top 10 in the running order. Full screen commercial break on FS1, so we'll take another ad break again here. 32 laps left. We are getting into the closing stage of the final stage of the TSport 200 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Down to just 20 trucks on the lead lap. Ben Rhodes the last of which on the lead lap currently. And again, this is the second to last race of the regular season. A lot of points going to be paid out here at the finish. We'll have to wait and see who exactly is going to be getting all those points. Struggle for Daniel Dye in a position where he didn't need a struggle in this race. 26th, currently a lap down. Took the wave around, has older tires at this point. Came in 1 point above the cutoff line. He started the night off real well because he was actually 10th at the end of stage 1. Got a stage point. Tanner Gray didn't get any stage points in the first stage after Tanner started deep in the field. And Gray has really only been running about 15th place for most of the night. He hasn't ran much higher in the running order than that. So he's not ahead of the cutoff line by much on Daniel Dye, but enough so that he can be in the driver's position, which is ahead of the cutoff line into the final race of the regular season when they come back from this 3 to 4 week break.
Ready to hit 25 laps to go at Indianapolis Raceway Park for the Craftsman Truck Series. Ty Majeski penalized on a restart. Had to come down pit road under green. Was able to stay on the lead lap. And on a long green flag run, drove his way into the top 5. Was able to wrestle the lead away here in this final stage from Christian Eckes, and the 98 is now in charge.
And just put his teammate Ben Rhodes a lap down in the 99. Ben is back in the 20th spot.
You know, he looks calm and collected, but I know Joe Shear Jr. pretty good. He is on the chip right now. He's just making sure he's got everything under consideration as his laps wind down here at Indy.
Well, right now he's thinking about, what am I going to do if the caution flag comes out?
That's
He
right.
knows if the caution flag doesn't come out, then it's up to Ty Majeski to hold on to that lead and avoid the lap trucks. But if the caution comes out, what am I going to do? Am I going to stop? Which probably they will. How much air am I going to put in the tires? Am I going to pump them up a little bit because it's going to be such a short run? So there's a lot going on in Joe Shear Jr.'s mind right now.
19 trucks on the lead lap. That would play a huge role, perhaps, in the strategy call for Warner to get a caution. This is going to be exactly what Joe Shear doesn't want to see, is that caution call.
All 3 of these trucks, all 4 of those trucks battling for position. So Walsh, the one, the 15 of Tanner Gregg, remember just above the cut line, that's his brother, the 17, the yellow, orange block, 17 right behind him, Taylor Gregg, and Ty Dillon, the 25 on the outside of him.
Said this earlier, every position is a point, so the 15 fading is hurting his chances of making the playoffs.
And our leader, Majeski, is not far behind these trucks, guys.
He looms. He's in their rearview mirrors. They know he's coming. See the 2 grays get together there? We see them run together a lot. Looks like right now, Taylor's a lot faster than Tanner.
And Tanner's committed to the bottom, the very bottom of the racetrack. He lost that spot to Sawallich. Now Ty Dillon is in front of him, as well as his brother Taylor in 17th.
We've now reached our Craftsman 20 to go. Ty Majeski, 2.5 seconds in front of Christian Eckes. Infinger, Ankrum, Briggs hanging in the top 5.
Jack Wood, the 91, getting by the 15, or attempting to get by the 15th as well. Now he's going to duck underneath the 25 of Ty Dillon and try to get a twofer.
Keep your trucks pointed straight. We don't need to see a caution. I've got this race in the bag without the caution flag.
Jack Wood trying to help his teammate there, right? Getting around to 15, puts him another spot back, and helps Daniel Dye when you look at the standings. Here's Majeski.
And Daniel didn't catch the caution flag that he desperately needed. Obviously, other trucks fell in front of him, better down the lap.
But as Tanner Gray drifts back, Daniel's able to clip a point or two here and there. He's got it down to just a 6 point down. Get him yourself. Somebody else go get him for you.
Teammates for position. Raja Caruth, Sammy Smith racing for 6th.
Oh. Jack Wood slipped or something. Sorry. I get all excited when I look out the window and see somebody sideways. What's on TV? It's my fault.
Looks like Stuart Friesen is maybe made repairs to that truck. We saw him way off the pace. I wonder if it was a plug wire or some sort of an issue like that. He's back up to speed now, but he finds himself a number of laps down, back in 33rd.
I think whatever is wrong with it, they came to pit road and fixed it.
Yeah, and that's what took the lap. We lost a couple laps on the racetrack while he was crippled, and now that truck is fast.
I'll show you what I was getting all excited about. I thought we were going to have that caution that I talked about that Ty Majeski didn't want to see Jack Wood into the wall. Then up goes Majeski. That had to get his attention, didn't it? Got mine, I'll tell you that.
Jack Evans did a nice job getting by Ty Dillon. But Jack now up to the 17th spot. Taylor Gray, he is the last truck right now on the lead lap.
14 remaining.
Battle continued between Sammy Smith and Raja.
On the lap trucks up here, Sammy may be able to pin Raja in behind one of those lap trucks. Room for Sammy to get by on the bottom. That's Matt Mills, the 42. Raja gets a little bit sideways up off the corner, and Sammy is able to comfortably make that pass.
These Goodyears are shot, aren't they, Phil? All the grip is gone. You got a truck that isn't handling perfectly. It's just going to be that much worse now.
And it enhances the chances that we could get a caution here late.
Seen a lot of slipping and sliding tonight, Adam.
The 66 has been good all day long.
Yes, sure has been. Now, we saw his debut at Gateway with a top 10 finish. This is his 3rd start. A solid 8th place run so far for Luke Fenhouse. Not a surprise. Great short track racer from Wisconsin.
So good a season ago here at IRP in the Arc of an Art Series.
Going off turn 4. Passes the flat truck. Fenhouse doing a great job.
Guys, I look at the top 20. We talk about how competitive this truck series is. Our top 20, Ben Rhodes, our defending champion, is 20th. In front of him, Tanner Gray was above the cut line. Ty Dillon, several-time winner here in the truck series in front of him. Taylor Gray, and it's amazing because you go from 20th on up and all solid trucks, solid teams, solid drivers.
Deep competition here in the Craftsman Truck Series in 2024.
Just tells you how good Tom Majeski is tonight. Left penalty early, was able to drive. Still a little bit sideways, slipping and sliding off turn 4.
Still wheeling. When you're up by 2.5 seconds, and there's no need, but why not? Let it all hang out.
It's not about that truck that's right in front of our leader, Tom Majeski.
It's incredible, isn't it?
I don't think we've seen that happen this year. The only blemishes on the entire season were Darlington. He got wrecked by a teammate, and then Charlotte, he actually finished second and got penalized because of missing lug nuts put to the tail.
This is all foreign to him. Wonder if it was some damage done to that truck. I mean, this is what I thought had that front tire fender situation go down.
Now lap down in 14th with 7 laps to go.
Tires on it was able to pass instead. On equal tires to everybody else. That issue could be rearing its head.
I mean, right outside that wall. That's Bailey Curry white truck behind him trying to grab that spot.
6 to go. Majeski just says, no cautions. Let me run it out, win this race.
What happened 2 years ago when there was a late caution?
Yeah.
I showed it to you in the beginning of the show with Infinger driving around 9 trucks in 3 turns and then winning the race.
And Majeski in the playoffs, as we hit 5 remaining, is an enormous problem for the competition. You got Milwaukee. We know he's outstanding there. He's won at Bristol. He's won at Miami. Should be good on the short track at Martinsville. Across the board, this is a team that really could make a move in the postseason.
You know, if he can make it all the way to Phoenix, you know he's going to be good in Phoenix. Remember,
4 laps to go at the line now for Ty Majeski. Again, Ford is not where he's in NASCAR, in which they have not gotten a win. They've really gotten hot in the Cup Series side of things over the last couple of months, ever since they finally broke through the victory lane at Darlington with Brad Keselowski. The floodgates had opened ever since then. Counting that race, they've won 7 of the last 10 races. Ford again as a whole. But as far as the Truck Series, again, they haven't won yet this season. It really hadn't been in contention for many wins. It's been dominated by Christian Eckes and Corey Heim, 2024 self, by having a good run on a short track. And this is going to be back-to-back wins at the Indianapolis Raceway Park as well for Ty Majeski here tonight. He's got a 3.5-second lead. Christian Eckes is second, Grant Enfinger third, Tyler Ingram fourth, and Lane Riggs fifth. And also, as far as Ford goes, last week in the Xfinity Series, they got their first win as a manufacturer with Cole Custer, who was the series points leader throughout. And speaking of points, pretty good points night for Ty Majeski, even with the penalty he had back at stage 1. A lot of stage points in stage 2, and obviously going on to win this race could move him up in the regular season standings as well. He's got a shot to finish as high as 3rd. That would be worth an additional 8 playoff points if he's able to do so. Final lap, working through turns 3 and 4 for the final time, and coming to the checkered, Ty Majeski gets his first win of 2024 as he goes back-to-back at IRP. Congratulations to him, our Stage 1 and Stage 2 winner tonight, Christian Eckes, but he does grow his lead out even further over Corey Heim, who ends up coming home in 16th. Outscored him by 3 points in the stages, and he's going to outscore him by 15 points in the place finishing position, which by my calculations means that Corey Heim is going to be 50 points behind Christian Eckes. So again, 50 points behind Christian Eckes for Corey Heim. And that will be rolling into the regular season finale. It's going to be tough to overcome that one race. Going to need an early DNF out of Eckes in that regular season finale, and he's also going to have to just go out with a bang and dominate like we know he can do, which is more than likely going to mean winning both stages and the race, or at least finishing very high in both stages and winning the race if he's going to want to bring that hardware home. Margin of victory for Ty Majeski, 4.1 seconds, 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 5 seconds total time on this race tonight, and our average race speed was 81.31 miles per hour around this just over a half-mile short track. 5 cautions, none in the final stage. Caution free for the final 71 laps. Easily the largest green flag run of the day, with the first two stages only being 60 laps in length. Final stage was 80, and again, the last 71 under green. The two cautions for incident, we had one in stage 1 at around lap 40, and one in the early going of stage 2, plus obviously the two stage yellows at lap 60, lap 120. So that made up 4 cautions. Again, no cautions in the final stage. But 2 apiece in the first 2 stages. Obviously, again, the 2 for incident, 2 non for incident. Only 13 trucks finished on the lead lap in this race here tonight. 56 laps led for your race winner, Ty Majeski. It was the only time he led. We had 5 lead changes with 3 different drivers leading a lap in the race. Both Christian Eckes and Grant Enfinger led twice in this one. 73 laps led for the Stage 1 and Stage 2 winner Eckes, which was the most in the race. 2 laps behind him with 71 laps led was Grant Enfinger, who dominated the early going of this race despite not winning Stage 1. He still led 55 laps in that stage and still comes home with a 3rd place finish despite falling backwards in the back half of Stage 2. So good fight up through the field once again for him. We'll go through the full field finishing results once we get the front stretch interview first with, of course, race winner Ty Majeski.
I was nose into the wall this evening. You jammed me. Here, wow. How about a half level?
Heard a confrontation there between Corey Heim and Christian Eckes on pit road.
The team never gave up on you. You had already won a playoff position in terms of points, but to get the win, how significant is this one?
Oh, it was huge. Obviously, I made a little bit of a mistake. It was probably a little bit of a close call on that restart, and I had to pony up and get it back. Obviously, when you make a mistake as a driver, you drive a little bit harder to try and make up for it. But these guys have my back. Awesome pit stops. It's been an up and down year. We've got the speed to win, just haven't been able to put it together. I've had some bad luck around the way, and some of it's self-inflicted. But man, so proud of this Road Ranger group. Soda Sense, Curb Records, everybody that's a part of this program. Duke Ronda Thorson, this is the TSport 200, so happy to bring the trophy home.
Back-to-back wins here at Lucas Oil Raceway Park. Mamba.
Christian Eckes with his 9th top 5 and extended his points lead. Christian, we just saw Corey Heim come over, talk to you about the contact on track. What's your reaction to that, and what did Corey have to say to you?
I mean, he's got a right to be mad. I just misjudged the straightaway. He acted like I went to the wall, but I didn't. I tried to leave my lane. I just misjudged it on my end. So, I mean, that's on me. I apologize to the all 11 guys, but yeah, I mean, I'd probably be mad too. But overall, proud of the Napa Auto Care Chevrolet team. I think we were 2nd place truck and we finished 2nd tonight. So, good execution on that end, and move on to Richmond.
Thank you, Mamba.
Yeah, I think that Corey got squeezed a bit, but certainly was a lane there. But you know, when you're racing that hard against another fella, you just lose your mind.
Yeah, it's just short track racing. There wasn't a lot of room there up off the exit corner. Both drivers slipping and sliding around this lack of grip racetrack, made contact. I don't really think either one did much of anything wrong there, to say the least. Corey Heim just, unfortunately, on the bad end of where the contact exactly took place on his left front tire, cut it, and as a result, fell behind, had some damage. Couldn't come back from that in the final stage. Ended up finishing 17th, it looked like, instead of 16th. So 51 points will be the difference in the battle for the regular season championship, with Eckes out in front of Corey Heim. So good chance Eckes will bring home the regular season title in the regular season finale in the next race for the Truck Series. The point standings, the way they look following this race tonight, Taylor Gray is plus 48 points, Ben Rhodes plus 22, and Tanner Gray now leapfrogs Daniel Dye for the final spot. So coming into the night, Tanner Gray was 1 point behind Daniel Dye. After tonight is over, he'll gain 6 points on the cut line as he goes to plus 5. Daniel Dye is now minus 5. Stuart Friesen, minus 16 points. He came into the night minus 4. And so despite the fact that he ended up finishing, I believe, 6 laps down. Yeah, 6 laps down in 33rd. He only loses 12 points, with both Tanner Gray and Daniel Dye having poor performances as well. So he gets bailed out. He's still got a shot to point his way in as well at Richmond. Matt Crafton is 43 points below the cutoff line. Chase Purdy minus 44. Those are all the drivers mathematically who have a chance to still point their way in, though for Crafton, Purdy maybe going to have to need a win at Richmond Raceway. We'll go through the finishing results of this race now. Again, Ty Majeski, your race winner, his first win of the season, locking himself into the playoffs. Christian Eckes finishes in second, Grant Enfinger third, Tyler Ankrum ended up finishing fourth, and Ankrum actually locked his way in on points tonight as well. I didn't mention him there. He isn't locked in with a win, but again, on points, Tyler Ankrum locked his way into the playoffs tonight. And Grant Enfinger also locked his way into the playoffs on points tonight, still winless this season. So outside of Ankrum in fourth, we had Lane Riggs, a rookie, getting the top 5, finishing 5th. Sammy Smith, Xfinity Series regular, finishes 6th tonight. Luke Fenhouse had a great run, was back half of the top 10 all night. His best performance of his truck career as he finishes 7th for TSport Racing. Roger Caruth from the pole finished 8th, didn't lead a lap though. Dean Thompson 9th, and Nick Sanchez rounds out the top 10. Ross Chastain 11th after finishing 2nd in Stage 2, but really fell behind in Stage 3. William Sowledge in 12th, Chase Purdy 13th, Bailey Curry 14th, Jack Wood 15th. 16th for Taylor Gray, Corey Heim 17th, Ty Dillon 18th, 19th for Timmy Hill and Tanner Gray 20th. Ben Rhodes 21st, Matt Mills 22nd, Johnny Sauter 23rd, Matt Crafton 24th, fell way behind in that final stage was Crafton. Marco Andretti 25th, Brett Holmes 26th, Daniel Dye 27th, Wallace Allen 28th, Connor Daly 29th, and Jake Garcia 30th. Tyler Tomasi 31st, Thad Moffitt 32nd, 33rd for Stuart Friesen, Spencer Boyd 34th, Mason Massey 35th. 2 DNFs total in this race tonight. That was Massey and Boyd. Boyd with a mechanical failure and a crash for Massey back at Stage 1. So that rounds out the finishing order of tonight's race, and that is going to wrap up tonight's live commentary stream, assuming that there wasn't any other interviews that I might have missed there. Fast forwarding in the broadcast, it looks like they are done. NHRA is now on FS1 for the rest of tonight, so I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon. We'll have another double header of live commentary coverage. So again, live commentary coverage will begin tomorrow afternoon with Cup Series Brickyard 400 qualifying at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That will begin at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So again, 1 p.m. Eastern, we'll go live for Cup qualifying. We did have our practice live commentary stream earlier today as well, as they had a full 50 minutes. So we'll see who will get to start up front on race day for Sunday. And as far as the Xfinity Series race, that will also be tomorrow after Cup qualifying at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. So we'll have a little bit of a break between those two streams tomorrow afternoon. Cup Series coverage on Sunday will begin at 2 p.m. Eastern as well for the 2024 running of the Brickyard 400 as the NASCAR Cup Series returns to the Oval at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'll see you for all that action tomorrow. Again, appreciate all your support for tuning in here today, especially that early stream this afternoon with the Cup Series practice going on while most of you guys were more than likely at work. For those of you that do work during the week, so appreciate it again. And I'll be back better than ever again tomorrow. A little tired in the stream tonight, so I was playing more of the actual race broadcast of what I usually would. So I'll get a full night's rest, and we'll be back and ready to go. I'm excited for Indy for these next couple of days, and can't wait to see you there.